The Children's Service Society of Utah is immensely proud of our long history. The agency began way back on October 13th of 1884. On that day, 34 ladies met to organize a day nursery in Salt Lake City to help the working poor and provide a safe place for their children while the parents worked. 1 week later, a baby was left on the doorstep, and the need for adoption services was clear. We grew from a day nursery into an orphanage, and later had a hand in foster care as well. In the early days, the mission of CSS was to provide relief to destitute children and to obtain such temporary and permanent homes as may be practicable. Through the years, Children's Service Society has evolved its programs according to the needs of the children and families we serve in our community. Today, Children's Service Society of Utah's mission is to empower families and caregivers through services that support the safety and well-being of children. This is accomplished through our 4 core programs: adoption, care about childcare, GRANDfamilies, and home visitation. Of all of our programs, the one that has grown the most quickly has been our GRANDfamilies program. In 2001, after receiving many calls from grandparents who are raising their grandchildren, CSS created a curriculum and a program specifically for families who are raising a relative's child. In 2002, we were ready to go, and the GRANDfamilies program was born. We've grown from working with just a few families in the Salt Lake City area to supporting families across the state. GRANDfamilies now has offices in Salt Lake, Tooele, Davis, Weber, and Cache counties. And we're working on plans to have more offices throughout the state. It's not hard to see why this program has been so successful. Across the U.S., there are 2.5 million grandparents who report that they are responsible for their grandchildren's needs, and a third of those are doing so without the help of the child's parents. In Utah alone, there are around 21,000 children being raised by kin without their parents' involvement. Although the #1 reason for this fact is drug abuse in the parents, there's also other issues such as domestic violence, poverty, death of the parent, incarceration, and mental illness. Many of these children have been neglected and abused in the homes of their parents, and so the caregivers often have to tackle hard issues with the kids that come into their care, and they experience many obstacles and challenges in meeting the children's needs. GRANDfamilies is a support, advocacy, educational, and crisis intervention program that seeks to help kinship families across the state. Our focus is to provide information and support to these families so that the needs of safety and permanency for the children can be met. The GRANDfamilies program provides crisis intervention services, adult educational support groups, children's support groups, links to community resources, and drug and alcohol prevention services for children. Research has proven that children who cannot remain with their parents thrive when raised by relatives as opposed to strangers in foster care. The research shows that children in kinship care have fewer school changes, have better behavioral and mental health outcomes, keep their connections to siblings, family and community, and their cultural identity, and perhaps most importantly, they report that despite their circumstances, they always felt loved. For these reasons, GRANDfamilies is deeply invested in helping kinship families to succeed, and Children's Service Society is proud to offer such services that help us meet our mission of supporting the safety and well-being of children. After all, we've been caring for Utah's families since 1884.